You got an affidavit?
No, I want him to talk to us first. And then go
Grab
from
the
there.
paperwork. You're not coming back to the car. Huh? Because I told you to. Hey, Jesse. He's doing his job. Yeah, I'm 6 to 6, bro. We've been wide open, damn. Wide open.
Just gonna be honest. There ain't no reason to be a bullshitter. Just be straight, do your job. You know what I'm saying?
Right on.
So, yeah, I'm about to do that for me.
Yep.
How do I put in a full complaint on all of them?
Same way you talked to the captain earlier. You can start.
Chain of command like that?
You can start with a lieutenant. Tell him you'd like to file a formal complaint. He'll have you come in the office and give you the opportunity to make your statement and go forward.
And I just need to fill this out, take it to the substation.
Well, no, we can take that today.
Can we take it now?
I mean, that's
I
what
gotta
we're
go
here
up there and pick up a USB anyways. I could just drop it off then.
for. Well, so we might not be there, and we can't. Then we have to go find the paperwork, follow it up, and then type a report. But if you can give us that this afternoon, we can get a report in the system today.
Cool. Where I need? You want me to bring it to you?
I mean, I'm out till 6. I mean,
Where you want me to bring it to you after I write it all out? The numbers and all that.
it's up to you. I mean, we can stand by till you get done.
I gotta run up to the bank and cancel my card.
I got you. I
Because
got
see,
you.
what originally happened is, sorry, it's a loud mouth. What originally happened is somebody called me, and I guess y'all heard about these scams or somebody, you know, I was up there.
Yeah, we got a
so I
shit
saw
ton of
your-
them.
And somebody called me and said I had a warrant out for my arrest because I missed jury process.
That's the MO. And if you don't,
And I was like, what?
then they tell you to go get some cards and give them the numbers on the cards. And it's been going on for about 2 or 3 years.
Was I talking to you? No, I'm putting a complaint about you. There wasn't no reason for that. What'd you hang up on me for?
Well, hang on just a second. Hang on. So that's why I'm here, is to facilitate this.
Well, is this recorded?
Yeah, absolutely it is.
So why did you hang up on me earlier as a public servant?
So Jesse, I'm addressing you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here to facilitate this.
Yeah.
So.
So I can't ask her that?
So she hung up on you because the conversation was done. Okay.
It wasn't?
Now I'm making her do this job.
I can't ask her?
You can address me.
Why
Okay.
did she hang up on me earlier?
Well,
As a public
because
servant?
she felt. So we don't have to talk to people.
You don't have to tell me anything now, but I'm putting in a full complaint. I'd like to know.
That's fine. So when we feel that people have become irate or they're inconsolable and we can't tell them the answer they're looking for,
Yeah.
and they get angry and they become
I don't think you can dictate
aggressive.
the mode of speech. Like the First Amendment doesn't matter.
Well,
Is that
so
it? Is that what
when
you're
we feel like you're being aggressive, or if you're being, what was the word, condescending or anything like that, we don't have to listen to it. I've hung up on several people over 18 years because they couldn't keep it
Well, you
together.
shouldn't.
Well, we
You're a
don't
public
have,
servant either way.
but we don't have to listen to
Nobody
that
should
and
have,
be
you can't
disrespectful.
dictate somebody else's tone, their behavior, nothing.
So we can't, but we can hang up because
can.
we are public
You
servants.
can, but then if you're a
But we
public
don't have
servant and
to be-
somebody asks you,
But we don't
they
have
can
to
ask
be.
you. Are
But
you
we
telling
don't
me I
have to
can't
be.
ask her? What is she here for?
So she's here to get this documentation
No,
in
you
the
could have
system.
given me this.
That's
Why is
not
she
my
here?
job, because she's a subordinate and this is her job to do. My job is to supervise it and make sure that happens and to
Okay.
facilitate this meeting.
You can supervise me
So
talking to her.
I'm
or
gonna
not?
tell you this.
Am I not allowed to talk to her? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying you're not allowed to talk to her.
Why did you hang up on me earlier?
Get in the car and leave.
Okay.
What
Here's
is
what's
that for?
here's what's gonna happen.
All right.
So
Look at.
I'm not done. When I get done speaking, you'll have your chance to speak. Do you understand that? Are we clear?
No, I've known you a long time.
Have a good day.
There's no reason to act like that, is there?
Jesse, I can't talk to you. I don't know where this is coming from, but it's been building for a couple of years.
What do you mean it's building?
A disdain for law enforcement and a disrespect for
Why
law
would you say
enforcement.
that?
Because
Why would you
it's
say it's
the,
been building for a couple of years?
because there's a history in the CAD
So y'all
system about
talked
it.
about before you came out here.
No,
this?
it's with your history, bro. When I click
What
on your
history
name,
do I have? I don't have any
when I
criminal
click,
history, my
when
man.
I click on
Do I
your
have any
name,
criminal
are
history?
you gonna let me talk? Or
Do
are
I
we
have
done?
any criminal history? What
Are
criminal?
you going to let me talk, or are we done?
Well, can I? Is it a consensual conversation or not?
It is a consensual
Yeah, then I'm
conversation.
gonna talk as well. Is that all right?
When I get done,
You go and then I'll go.
so when you have a local jacket, as I have a local jacket, anybody that's ever called the sheriff's office has a history, and it's called a local jacket. It's not a crime. It's not a criminal documentation. However, because of conversations over a period of time, those calls are documented. When there has been a noticed disdain or aggression towards law enforcement,
That's wrong.
they put that stuff in the system.
Well, that's
So
wrong.
when you click on your name, it shows that
Y'all
they're.
automatically say he's aggressive, and we don't have to talk to him, and,
Well, see,
and he's already got this jacket.
But I don't know that because I know you,
Well, that's what
and
you
this is
just
the first
acting like,
thing-
though. That's how you just treated me.
because that's how you started the conversation.
All I did was ask her a question.
Buddy, you started with conflict, buddy.
What's the conflict?
Your demeanor, your tone,
See,
your
that's how y'all
inflection.
act. That's how y'all act, like everything has to be perfect from a citizen's point of view.
No, it
Towards
doesn't
you.
have to be
Yes,
perfect.
It does. What are
But
you
we
talking
don't
about?
have to stand there and be disrespectful
You're
in
telling
any
me
shape,
you
form, or
brought her
fashion.
here to my address and I couldn't ask her why she hung up on me? That's ridiculous.
No, once I started noticing that your tone and demeanor started going the other direction,
Well, you were
and not here
protecting
to
her,
follow
it didn't
that.
matter how it was.
Do what?
You just think because y'all are all in the same thing that you're protecting her, it doesn't matter how I am.
No, it doesn't.
It
No,
obviously-
I know you, and I've never
obviously.
seen this side of you ever before.
You know,
I've heard people talk about it
how did
honestly.
you know you was there when it started? Why did it start?
when it started. Today,
No, when it started.
I would say it started around the time your
All the
divorce
stuff.
was going through with your wife.
How did the police treat me during that?
I wasn't there. I wasn't on scene when that occurred.
Maybe you should look at the full circle before you judge somebody.
Well, so I went to bat for you when she was talking about neighbors and they're all talking about he's beating her. I said, that ain't Jesse Hart.
Exactly, you told me about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what was so wrong, right? And that's how this is too. That you come here and you say for a couple years you've had this and you've been building this up, right?
I haven't had
Oh.
this. It's been building by the system.
But then you come and treat me a certain way, acting like there was some other buildup
I
that
didn't
has
start
anything
out-
to do with something besides
I mentioned
this.
that because you went negative, bro.
Did this have something to do with anything besides this visit then? What was this about to bring her here?
This visit?
Yeah.
This visit
To
was just to make
facilitate
sure,
this.
to facilitate that,
But
because,
you bring up 2 years of all this other stuff to facilitate this. If I
because
ask
you
her
asked
one
me,
question,
because you asked me
I asked her
why,
why she hung up on me, and you decided to defend that.
and I told her she hung up on you because she felt the conversation was done. So
You
when we
wasn't
feel
even
the
on the
conversation,
conversation. You assumed that.
she felt the conversation was done.
Yeah.
She works for me. She works for me every day. We've already had the conversation about your first conversation with her.
I'm about to fire up a massive lawsuit,
All right,
and it's a
well,
lot of it's because of what
you
happened.
got,
Listen,
you got my information.
not for you, and not for this. This is small. For what happened with my wife and all that, how I was treated by the system. That lifted the veil for me. You understand what I mean?
Do what you need to do.
You think it's all right? You think there ain't a bunch of corruption and stuff that people shouldn't be aggravated about ever?
I can't speak on
You
that.
think people, whenever they go and try to report a crime, that any of this other stuff is necessary? I was trying to report a crime, right?
Today?
Today.
Well, actually, it hasn't reached the point of a crime because your intelligence told you that it was a scam and you didn't give them your money.
Yeah.
So there hadn't been a crime committed yet.
Well, it's attempted fraud.
It's called attempted fraud. You understand
Yes. And they're, what are they calling themselves when they call somebody? They're saying they're the police. So when I called the police, I kind of thought y'all might want to know about it.
Mhm.
What did I get in return? That, oh, you've been building up a disdain for police for 2
Well, that's
fucking
where you're
years.
taking it.
Oh, that's where I took it? That's where I took it. Go back and research what happened and be real to yourself and me too, buddy.
Oh, I'm real 100%, bro. And I
You
hate that
wanna
it's
be.
going this
Your
way.
demeanor is, and you always have been. But what you just said to me, and the way you see it, no.
Well, I'm sorry that there's something that's clouding your judgment that
No.
causes you to feel
It's
that
something
way.
that's really clouding yours.
Okay, well,
You know what I
we
mean?
can agree to disagree. So if you need to name me, do whatever you need to do.
I would never
So
know.
here's the thing.
Because I know what kind of
um,
person, listen to me. I know what kind of person you are. Whenever we saw you up there at Pat, I said, Pat, Jason's the best fucking cop in this area. I wish he was the guy.
It's the truth.
It should be. What you just did here, that's something different.
Well, you took it to a different spot, so I followed you right there, buddy.
What did I take it to? Because I asked her why she hung up on me.
Immediately your demeanor, and I know you said that your demeanor should
I
have
want that
mattered, that you can
objective
be.
camera. That's objective.
Okay,
What
so
you're doing
here's
is
what
not
we'll do.
objective.
Here's what we'll do. Come to the car, I'll give you the CAD number, and you can research you can call records and ask for that recording. Because they're both being recorded. It's your car.
I mean,
Got it on there.
did you not know what I was doing? You think I was calling everybody else?
No, I know why you originally called.
Then what was necessary after that? You know? What was necessary after that? And then you put it on me like for two, so y'all, I should know, I'm in the system. And for 2
So,
years, y'all are building up
look-
that I have some angst against police.
It's not that we build it, but every time you call, and what you say, if it's
It's not that
derogatory
you
or
build it, but that's how you treat it. That's what you just said.
yeah, well, that's what I told you because it's
I'm
called
glad you
it's
did
called an
because
alert.
that's gonna definitely.
It's called an alert. Look right there. There's 9 alerts under your name, bro. This is your name.
Because if I call in about it, somebody else doing a crime, they put an alert on me?
No, no,
Was,
no, no,
is
no.
there an alert on me from this?
No, we're not even. The call's not even closed.
So you're saying there won't be an alert from this then, me calling in? What are the other alerts for?
Well, here's the deal. I'm gonna give you this CAD number and you can request this record, okay? And then we'll go to the other one for the other records. I'll give you a bunch of numbers.
And one day, if I prove to you it's all bullshit, will you apologize for what you just said over there?
I haven't said anything out of sorts, Jesse.
All right. We'll see what that says objectively, and then if you feel like one day I was right, and I prove it, then we'll see, all right?
Well, prove what?
That's bullshit.
What are you right about?
Over there is total bullshit. There was
It's
no
not
disdain
bullshit.
on my part for her to hang up on me.
There's not
I'm
now.
trying to figure out what the law was.
I wasn't there
It
during
wasn't
that
then 'cause I asked
conversation.
her one question.
I wasn't there for that conversation or why she hung up on
You
you.
assumed the whole thing about it.
I talked to her about it and I listened to her
you
side
got
of the
her
story.
side,
But
and
then
you
when I got
defended her
here,
side.
when you went to what was the here? I'll show you this one.
What was it that I did?
It was all about your
I
tone of
asked
voice,
her why she hung
your
up
tone
on
of
me.
voice, your inflection.
You didn't want me to ask her about hanging up on me.
I don't have, so no, what's not gonna happen, what's not gonna happen is you're not gonna be disrespectful to anybody under my command in my presence.
Well, is hanging up on somebody disrespectful? A public servant hanging up on a part of the public?
I've done
That's
it
what maybe
multiple,
you should be worried about.
I've done it multiple times
Yeah,
over
well,
the
that's
years
not right. Doesn't make
when
it right.
somebody's
Doesn't make it right.
inconsolable and I can't give them the right answer and they don't want supervision other than me. They just want to be right and they want me to admit they're right when I don't believe it.
Well, if I ask for a supervisor and they don't give me a supervisor and I say, are you this person's
Well,
supervisor?
so here's the thing. You don't just automatically get a supervisor because you want one. The only time you get a supervisor is if that deputy is ineffective and the supervisor needs to respond. So just because you call with an issue that's an issue that anybody else would have, it doesn't necessitate the response of a supervisor. Because as a supervisor, not only do I do her job, but I also run the entire district. And so that being said, I've been running the entire district from 393 to Bay County.
Have you ever told a deputy they were?
Absolutely.
And in these situations
called
where a
it's-
deputy hangs up on somebody, do you think they're right every time?
Not till I know the whole story.
I guess would they ever tell you they was wrong?
No, but a lot of times I can tell whether
tell
they're
you,
wrong.
You could tell. See how?
Absolutely.
See how?
Because
that's
here's
not
the deal.
objective?
I've
That's
already made
totally
her-
subjective.
Well, I've already made her
And
go back
assuming
and
the whole thing.
so let me explain something to you. She was wrong this morning when she had a call for another incident for another area.
She was wrong twice today then.
So I told her she was wrong and I told her how she was gonna fix the problem. And then I personally went out and apologized to the individual she was wrong to.
And so then you felt like today it was good to show her that you could also stick up for her and defend her. And you assumed everything else.
So I didn't assume anything. I
You
went off
didn't hear-
and
it
I
was an A&B
responded to you.
conversation, and you're saying that she doesn't have to respond to me at all on scene at all.
At the
Only
point,
person I could talk to was you, and you assumed what
that was
happened
at
in our
the point,
conversation.
that was at the point that you became derogatory and
How was I
aggressive.
derogatory?
Aggra-
How was
you're-
I aggressive?
Okay, I've said it more than once, and this is the last time I'm gonna say
I
it.
would love to know.
It has to do with your demeanor, your tone, your body language, and your inflection.
So all those things had to be right?
I didn't say
I
they-
mean, my God.
I didn't say
Everything
they
has
have to be
that
right,
is crazy,
but if we
Jason.
perceive that
That's
it's
crazy to act like
disrespectful,
that to other people. It's crazy to
it's
act like
crazy
that
to be
other
disrespectful to other people, bro.
people. Then don't be disrespectful. She
Okay.
shouldn't be disrespectful.
Okay.
She's a public servant. You know,
That doesn't mean
she
she
has
has-
some kind of thick skin.
That doesn't mean she has to listen to disrespect.
But if
because
the
the sheriff
inflection
has
isn't
said we
right,
don't
if
have
the
to.
demeanor and tone and all that's not right, then
So if all those bells and whistles are going off, then absolutely
no.
they can hang
What
up.
if it's just one or two of them?
Then they need to deal with some stress.
Well, did they hang up then and then y'all defend it?
It's
I
up
mean,
to
do you
each
see where I'm
individual
going with it?
and
What's
every-
objective
it's-
about it?
So you notice how whenever you ask me a question and then I go to answer the question and you start talking over me?
I'm
That's
listening
part
right
of it.
now. I'm listening.
Well, that's because I made you aware of that. That's what you've been doing.
I was
So,
listening when you said that.
but every time you've asked me a question, from the very first moment over there, when I would try to answer it, you started talking
I
over.
didn't even ask
You know
her
what that
something.
tells me?
I asked her something.
Either
Not
way.
you, her.
Well,
And you
first we
said
were
that was
talking.
disrespectful towards her.
So at first you and I were talking, and she didn't have the
I said I
opportunity
was
to tell
putting a
you.
full complaint.
Absolutely, I know it's part of.
Yeah.
So that being said, at the point that we feel that the communication is no longer effective between us and you, or us and Joe Blow, or whomever,
We can't ask a cop why they do something.
absolutely.
Then what was that?
So, because I noticed that it was taking a negative tone, and that's not why we were here. We were here to give you
I'm
that
glad this
paper
is recorded now. what
and
you're
let you
saying.
fill that out.
I'm glad this is recorded what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Because that was an objective eye over there to what you said. I mean, this recording here, when it's played back, you should probably apologize. I mean, I'm just telling you, buddy,
And you don't feel that at all?
that I should apologize.
Yeah.
I was trying to call in to let you guys know about a crime.
Okay,
What
so
was necessary beyond that? What was necessary beyond that? Not a fucking thing, that's what it was. I'm aggressive now, yeah, because that shit was not fucking necessary.
all
You're
right.
hanging up on me.
That's
Not
unfortunate.
necessary. The cop's not caring about a scammer. Not necessary.
It's not that we don't care.
She didn't care.
What she should have said,
Oh, okay. Was she wrong?
no,
Be careful.
I won't say she was wrong.
Okay.
What she should have done was right out of the gate, taken your information and said, you know what, we'll deal with it. Because at that point, there hadn't been a crime committed because you didn't allow it to be committed.
So what did she do instead?
She came here to give you that
No.
document.
What did she do on that call instead? Since she researched this call that happened.
Well, she said she had the conversation with you, and she
Which
said
was?
because there was no crime that had been committed, they weren't taking a report.
No. What she said was. And does she have a body camera on probably when I called?
You can ask for all videos for that case
Did
number.
she think she had it on?
I know she did because I told her to have it on.
Good. Because it wasn't recorded, see, except for that. So
She's supposed to have this going
then
anytime
you
there's
will
a
probably
phone call.
apologize to me then if that's recorded and that's on her body camera. You know what she told me?
Tell me.
She told me that they already knew who it was.
We do have a suspect.
And she said, we know who it is, we know who's doing all that. And I
They
said,
actually have a
so
name.
I got this person on the other line right now. Y'all don't want to do anything? Are you telling me? Because you already know, you're assuming this is the same guy and you know all about it. You've already assumed
Well,
all
ironically,
that.
the
And
dude
she
had the
said-
same number.
Do you understand that? She assumed a whole lot there. And I'm trying to offer up a crime to her that's happening. And the guy on the line. And what did she say? What did she say?
You
She
tell me.
doesn't care. And hangs up. Basically, I said, so you're telling me that you're not going to do anything, you really don't care, this guy's on the line? I mean,
Jesse,
and
if
she
she
said
said,
no,
if
she
she
said no.
said she doesn't care
no,
and that she's done with it, then I will apologize to
well,
you.
this is what it is. She said that she didn't say that direct thing. She said, we know who it is. We have all that, done. I said, aren't you assuming who it is? What if it's something else or anything else?
Because it's been the same person for a while.
But nobody knows that.
Well, it's the same telephone number and they give the same
She
name.
didn't know what telephone number it was.
No, she didn't, but it's been that, it's been
Nobody,
that way.
is it not assuming a lot?
No, I
What if
mean,
it's another scammer? Is that out
assumption
of the
is an
question? It
educated
could be
guess.
another scammer?
No, it's not at all.
Exactly. So then I said, okay, you're telling me that you don't care about this crime being committed. You're assuming you know who it all is, and you're not going to do anything, and I shouldn't care. And she said, no, I'm not. That's not what I'm telling you. I said, so what are you going to do then? Wham! Hung up. Is that?
I will review her body camera and see
Well,
what I come
well-
up with
Well, then come tell me you're sorry then.
after I've reviewed the body camera. If I find that she did what you're saying she did, then I'll have you an apology and I'll come give it to you face
Yeah.
to face.
And what about all these other guys?
I can't apologize for somebody having anything to do with it.
Yeah, but now I'm in the system with alerts. You see where I'm going?
Mhm.
How about some objectivity? Would that be all right?
I gave you the objectivity. I gave it to you when I first
Yeah,
walked
no,
up
you
in the
didn't.
yard, bro.
There was no. That's not objectivity. That is not. That is
I
totally
waited-
subjective.
I waited.
100%.
It was subjective on your responses.
It was subjective on you protecting her.
No,
Yes, it was.
that's your interpretation
I should
of
be
it.
able to ask her a question without you feeling
Until
like.
I took over.
Well, you took over as soon as I asked your question, and
Well,
you ended. You said, "Go
Because
to the car."
your line of questioning was inappropriate.
Well, I asked you if I could ask you a question. Remember, we went through it. I said, "Can I ask her a question?" You said yes.
And
So
then
then
when
I
I
asked
saw
her
that
a
it was,
question,
yeah,
and you told her to go to the car.
because your line of questioning was inappropriate.
No, you didn't want me to ask her that fucking question.
Because I felt that it was inappropriate.
How is it inappropriate asking that question? Why she hung up on me?
Because she hung up on you because she felt the conversation was done.
Why couldn't she say that?
Because I didn't give her the opportunity.
Yeah,
Because
why
I don't
wouldn't
have to.
Why wouldn't you?
Because part of my job is to protect that deputy.
Now we came to the truth, didn't we?
That's
Now
always
it's-
been the truth.
Is that objective?
But it's just as much my job to
That
protect Jesse.
fucking objective. Well then there's where the objectivity should be. It shouldn't be for her. It should
No,
be
it's for all
in
parties
general.
involved.
That's what objectivity is.
I know.
That wasn't objective. If you call that objective, then your humanity has lost because of your job.
All right.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, I think so.
That's objective.
I think so.
Review that. If you come apologize to me, your humanity's still intact. And you know what? That would be objective.
Okay. Well, I know regardless, my humanity's intact.
Fight
Whether
for me
you
with
get
these
it,
alerts too. Is that right?
those don't get removed. That's a history of whatever your conversations were with the other individuals that have been here over the years.
How eye-opening is it what you told me about?
Do what?
How eye-opening is it though what you told me about them?
How eye-opening to who?
To me as a citizen
Okay, it is
and my
eye-opening.
freedom, right?
It's not
You
hampered
come
to
here
the
and tell
freedom.
me that bullshit.
Well, it's the
You,
truth.
what are the alerts for? Did you check all the alerts first before you said that?
All 20 of them that showed up, but there's 9 in the system.
Yeah.
And I did, because I've heard other deputies go, and I've heard their recount of their
Well, they're half of them.
interaction.
Half of them aren't very smart, are they? Can we say that?
That might be a thing.
Yeah. So is that my fucking fault? If
No.
I ask somebody what the law is or what their policy is, should that hurt their ego?
Nope.
Should they shut down the public services to me because of that?
Nope.
Well, then now I got the alerts for those same kind of things.
I'll show you. Oh, this the local.
I mean, I put in several complaints already. Do you know what the cops did that night when my ex-wife called 911?
I don't.
They turned off the body cameras on purpose as they pulled up there, surrounded me right there, and was gonna beat the dog shit out of me.
I don't see that.
Why would they
I mean,
turn their cameras off?
That I can't answer the question.
Well,
when
yeah.
was that?
That was
Because that's a straight up violation of policy.
yeah. Whenever she called that night in November, 4.5 years, or almost.
What year?
19, November 19.
So June, I got July 2020.
Yeah, and then hey, your boy goes to the same
November
school I
of
do.
2018.
You know, your boy goes to the same school I do, right?
Yeah, 2 links.
You sign all those, you sign all the things they send home for them to go on field trips and all that?
Not all of them. My
You
wife
looked at what the
does.
legal language is in those?
Yeah.
What do you think that legal language says, brother? It says your rights are fucking gone. It says your rights are fucking
It
gone.
says you can't
I was
sue them
fighting
if
for that.
something
Guess what one of them alerts I bet says?
Well, I've already been to a meeting where your name was mentioned in what was it called? It was a risk mitigation meeting that
Because
they
I'm about to
have
fucking sue the shit out of
periodically.
them, bro.
So
They know it. They've been denying my son all these things because I won't sign them. I fight for rights, bud. That's what that shit tells you. That's me fighting for my rights, my son's rights, and sometimes yours. Because I don't put up with bullshit. I think the law should be the law.
mhm.
If
I
somebody
agree with you.
turns off their body camera to beat my ass right there, I think that's destroying evidence, and I think they should fucking have something on.
They would lose their job if it came out. that
Really?
that's
Because
what
I put in
occurred.
complaints and I've sent it all over. The thing is, y'all don't take
But
fucking
did it-
complaints serious.
Oh yeah, we do. Because I've written people up as a result of it and sent them home for days off and no pay.
I don't see them. I don't see it happening. I'll put them in myself. You know what I mean? That's what happens. That's what happens if you fight for shit.
Sometimes.
If you're a motherfucker that's stupid and you don't care and you keep the veil over your head the whole day and nothing ever happens to you, hey, that's a great life. We don't all get to live that, do we?
That's a fact.
You better fight for yourself in this world, my man.
That's it.
That's bullshit. What happened here? That's
So
bullshit.
the first one it shows is an officer safety alert.
Yeah, strange wife.
So there's where it starts, type officer safety alert. But the only thing that it doesn't say that's negative, or the only thing that it does say that's could be considered anything is we've had numerous calls from Jesse for follow-ups where he's been verbally hostile with deputies and will often record the conversation.
Yeah.
It's your right to record the conversation.
But
I
they
can
got to
give it-
put that I'm hostile in there. You see,
That's what was done.
that's what they put.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that's true. See, y'all call anything out of pocket hostile. Like you just told me there's 5 or 6 points you're looking at, and I got to hit all those. I ain't gonna never be that guy. I'm an animated motherfucker, right? So that's the problem. Is they always go, this guy's animated. Fuck him.
Well, it's okay to be animated, and
It is?
it's okay to be articulate,
Yeah.
but it's not okay to be aggressive or hostile.
What it is y'all got to check your ego and get it out of the way.
Do I
It shouldn't be led with y'all lead with ego, and then you act like it's something else.
Did I lead with an ego?
That wasn't objective, buddy. We already went
As
through that.
soon as you started a line of question that I felt was inappropriate,
It
I stepped in and
wasn't a
took
line
over.
of question. It was one fucking question
That's what a line of
to a
that's
public
the line.
servant
Because I stopped it at that
about
one.
her, what she has done.
It doesn't matter at that point why she hung up on you, other than your justification as to why she hung up on you. I made her come out here to take that documentation and record your complaint of the activity
Yeah.
that you called about originally
But you came
into the
and
system.
she's not allowed to speak to me, and I'm not allowed to speak to her. Is that it?
Well, you just started launching into your
It was
questioning
one question.
because that's where I stopped it, Jesse. If I hadn't
You
stopped it
just
there,
didn't want that
you would
question to
have
be
kept-
answered because she would have to answer that question.
no, she's going to answer that question regardless. Because
not
I'm going to
with
go
me.
back. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to go back and I'm going to look for the body camera that was on while she was having that conversation with you. If in fact that she didn't have her body camera on while she was talking to you on the telephone, she's going to get a rip.
Yeah.
Because that's a violation of fucking policy.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah. And I was probably animated talking to her as I generally am when it concerns. I really thought they should have cared.
So passion.
You know what I mean?
Passion and animation as a result of passion and articulation is not wrong.
No,
But at the moment that it becomes,
no, y'all make it all. Y'all make it
see,
all
here's
wrong.
the thing,
There's a First Amendment that covers all that, my man.
freedom of
I
speech.
mean, are we going to deny the First Amendment and say all these other things are supposed to matter?
Okay, so
No.
speech is not covered under the First Amendment. It's the Fifth
freedom
Amendment.
of speech, though.
Fifth Amendment. Fifth
Yeah.
Amendment. Not number
All
one.
right.
Number 5.
All right.
The freedom to keep your to not testify against yourself. The freedom to not incriminate
like
yourself.
You can take the Fifth Amendment.
All speech is Fifth Amendment.
Yeah.
Not number 1. So that being said, it should be objective all the time, but sometimes it is subjective.
It seems like it's all the time. What are those alerts about? He's hostile while he's talking to deputies?
you have
What's
been.
the next one? Oh, I have been, see? That's it. That's it, I have been. That's all that matters, evidently. It's not what the law is. Not
I'm
what the
saying,
policies
like
are.
right here
It's
today.
not what your amendments cover. What it is, what it is how you guys all perceive it.
So, have you ever heard the term or the phrase "perception is reality"?
What is it?
A lot of times it is.
No, it's not. Whoever made up that saying really believed in a lot of shit that wasn't reality. Right?
I mean,
Perception actually is not reality. And the law is the law.
yeah,
I
the
mean,
law is the law. That's
Yeah,
for
there's
sure.
no perception of laws that aren't the law.
So I'm talking about speech, and I'm talking about communication and articulation with humankind.
Yeah.
Perception is definitely reality. So when somebody perceives,
No.
even though you didn't mean it a certain way, but that's the way it came off.
Well, then
Part of
everybody can perceive everything all the time, and it doesn't matter what anybody says. My God, that's just a moronic fucking idea. I mean, that is a moronic fucking standard to hold to everybody else, isn't it? To say everybody else has to perceive you the correct way or it's not correct. I mean, so what's some of the other alerts? That's what I was waiting on to see what all these alerts are that I've done. I never committed a crime or been in any trouble, but I got all these alerts. And a cop can come out and tell me that, oh, this has been building up. So hell, y'all might just show up one day, decide to do something to me and say, well,
So it says there's 9 alerts there, Jesse.
Yeah.
But what it looks like is there was only the 1 alert,
Mm-hmm.
but it's talking about
Well,
all
you just
the,
told me it built up for 2 years, bud. And there was 20 of them.
So there's 20. Let me back up. Let me show you exactly what I'm seeing.
This is pretty fucked up. I mean, ain't it? Pretty
So-
fucked up.
I meant to say activity was 20, but alert, I did say there was 9 alerts. So activity is 20, right?
Mhm.
That's your calls for service. And then when you go to alerts and click on alerts,
It says 9, but there's 1. But that was
Well,
enough for you
it's
to
not-
come out here and tell me
well, so here's the thing. I'm also going off of
a bunch of bullshit.
every time that somebody comes out here and they have
You're
a
going by
problem, I
word of
usually
mouth,
hear
buddy.
about it.
You're going by word of mouth.
So it's called, you know what it's called?
It's called
You know what the term
cops
is?
being
You know what the
strict.
term is?
What?
It's called personal experiences. Communication, through communication.
So somebody who's a law-abiding citizen doesn't have anything on the record besides the crazy ex-wife.
That's exactly, you
wanted
did
to-
have one of those.
You want to tell me?
And I can tell you that
You
on
want to
3
tell
separate
me that the
occasions.
perception of cops is all important about how you're going to be handled, and then you're going to even go a lot further, and you're going to tell me that by personal experience from cops and by word of mouth, that for 2 years there's been something building up where I'm a fucking problem. And
Well-
so whenever you come out here with somebody else and call it objective, you have in mind that for 2 years something's been building up against me, and even say that was part of your reasoning. Was that fucking? Is that enough to
I'm going to
apologize?
tell you straight up, because of your past experiences with law enforcement, with your attitude, your mannerisms, your
Have I
demeanor,
broken the law?
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
So yeah, it does matter if you've broken the law. But in order to get an intel, it doesn't mean you have an intel flag or whatever, an alert. It doesn't mean that you had to have broken the law. But if you show a disrespect or a disdain that can be articulated to law enforcement, that's what happens.
And what does that mean? You got disrespect for law enforcement. What should that mean in your system? What does that mean for you to come here and say you've been building this up for 2 years? You're aggressive towards
Well,
cops.
maybe I chose the wrong words.
No,
Maybe what
y'all-
I should have said was, I've been hearing that there were issues with you and law enforcement for 2 years.
You told me there was alerts against me.
I did,
It's
because
built up against me. That was part of your reasoning over here, and you don't know what changed with me and all this other stupid
Absolutely.
bullshit.
because I'd never seen this side of Jesse. That's not the Jesse I grew up
whenever
with.
people try to take my freedom, it kind of changes the motherfucker.
Well, I can understand that. My outlook on life changed after 3 days worth of heart attacks.
Yeah. But that made you less objective or more?
I'd say that it opened my eyes to a lot, but it also changed my focus a lot.
I don't think Jason Day 5 years ago would have came here and acted like that. Does that make sense to you?
Well,
That's
5
not
years
objective
ago,
to me, and you still hadn't apologized. And that alone should prove what you said over there is enough to fucking apologize. There's one fucking alert. You told me that for 2 years
So-
something's been building up against. You know what that
so
tells
look.
me? That should prove to you exactly what the fuck I'm talking about y'all and all these other cops. The word of mouth and how their private
So-
perceptions of me and how y'all talk about me at meetings and all this other shit. That's what matters. Not if you break
so
the
the
law.
meeting was at a school board meeting, not
Yeah.
a school board meeting, but a school function meeting.
Do you know they kicked me out? Why'd they kick me out for?
They brought your name up is all I heard.
You know
They
why she
brought your
kicked me
name
out?
up and they asked, where is this at?
You know why they kicked me out?
I do not.
I wouldn't sign one of those. I went to check my son out, right? And it says on some of those, if you want to know more about this, you should be able to ask at the school, ask her to the principals there. And I go to the front, I said, you know, I just talked to the lady at the school board about it. She told me that I could sign it, but then I could turn it in, and then I could rescind it. But that should be enough for him to be able to go on a picture. And I said, okay. So I went in to give it to him, to sign it. The only one I was ever going to sign. And then I said, okay, here's this. I want to rescind it as soon as you get it. Well, I turned it in. The principal, or they come out, they say, no, you can't rescind it right away. You can only rescind it after the event. I said, well, what good is that? Then he wouldn't have his rights. And I didn't say, fuck it, you know, I said, what good is that?
Right.
I said, okay, well, you know, she said, I said, well, I'm checking him out. And then Miss Cantaleone, you know her? Cantaleone. Anyway, she says, hold on, I'll come out and talk to you about it. I was leaving. She comes out to talk to me and she brings the resource deputy that had come here a few times when we'd had problems. So I don't know if she had something against me or what. And I said, why did you bring the resource deputy with if you just want to talk to me normal? And she said, kind of
Was
like
it
what
female?
you just did. Kind of like what you just did. She goes, well, because of past things we've had with you or whatever. What fucking past thing is she talking about? Some of this shit? I don't know. I look at as soon as she said that, I look at the resource officer who has one of those shirts on with the hole, and I said, do you have your body camera on? She kicked me out as soon as I said that. For asking what her body camera is. So then, I get into some of the other alerts where I said, okay, got in touch. I was going to put in a complaint about her. They wouldn't let me put in a complaint about her. I waited up at the substation for 45 minutes. And finally, the guy comes, the lady's kind of getting mad with me behind the thing because I'm waiting and telling her I want to put in a written complaint. And so I say, well, I'd like to know what the policy is for body cameras. Does anybody know if she's got one? She's supposed to have one. So they send, I contact the proper channels. They send me the policy back.
Records.
You know what the policy was? How to operate a camera like put it back. I said, this isn't the policy for people are supposed to wear it. They never would give it to me. And I said, well, who's supposed to know if her
So-
body camera is supposed to be on? Nobody would tell me.
Here's an avenue of approach. That number that's on that card,
Yeah.
you can ask for records.
No. Miss Curry just hung up on me twice. She's the biggest bitch out there. She's the biggest bitch out there. What are you talking about? I told her she was a public servant. She got mad. She don't want to be a public servant.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you notice a congruent response
With public servants, yes.
for those individuals
Nobody else in my life, no.
based off of your conversation with them?
Oh, I see the pattern.
Okay, so
I
you
don't
see
think it
that
has
there's a pattern.
a damn thing to do with me. I don't have to respect a damn thing, and they don't have to respect me. That ain't how it works.
So-
There's a law, there's policy. Y'all are public servants.
If you
Do
don't-
your job.
if-
It has nothing to do with my shit. It has nothing to do with nothing.
And there's
Y'all
a
are making it about a
respectful
bunch
manner.
of shit that is not what it's supposed to be about. And all these fucking alerts, that's why they're on me. And you just told me all that bullshit like a fucking Nazi in my front yard. What is that shit? For 2 years it was building up. Show it to me.
So when I clicked on this initially, so
You told me
I know I told you, and remember I showed
that
you
was building
these-
up, and
the
you don't know
activity
who
was
I am
20.
and all this stupid
And
shit,
so-
assaulting my character, right?
So you see how you keep talking over me?
No, I
I'm
think
not
I'm
gonna
just
keep
talking.
doing it.
I
I'm
think
not
I'm just
gonna keep
talking.
doing this.
I just won't say shit. You tell me these things then.
So back to whenever I said there was all these alerts. So when I see the activity is 20, and then I scrolled down here and I let you read the one that was at the bottom, and that's the only thing that I've seen in there that says hostile towards deputies.
And then you change it to everybody's individual
look,
response with me
but
that
look,
y'all talk about.
So then when I went to click on alerts, you see how nothing's changing when I clicked on that?
Yeah.
I didn't see that it didn't change. All right?
Yeah.
So somewhere, and I don't know why it's not showing it, but there's 9 alerts under your name.
Yeah. But you don't know what they are.
But all I can see, well, I thought that they were going to show me a full fucking
Well,
list
my
of them.
question to you is, what the fuck are you talking about now? About 2 years of building all this stuff up, and it's in the system.
So
there's all
that's-
these alerts against you,
So,
and now we come
well, it
over
shows
here and
there's
there's
9.
one.
well, it shows there's 9,
But
but
it
I
also
can't access
shows
them.
that you didn't interact with those alerts before you said that.
But no,
So you was just
part of
assaulted
what I was
my
saying-
character and treated a person in the public like that for some bullshit, and then justified it on some shit that you had no fucking idea about.
No, I do have an idea about it because of the past history
Of what?
that conversations that have been had after people have come to talk to you.
But no alerts here. Nothing in the system. Just conversations you're having with other people behind closed doors about me, a person of the public who
Not
has no
behind
fucking
closed doors.
record.
It's some conversation after they've come to a call. I'm like, how'd that go?
So then 2 years later, you let it build up. Come over here and you say there's a active thing 2 years later where you're not breaking any laws, but you have disrespect for law enforcement. So we don't know who you are, what you are. You can have your services restricted.
That wasn't we. That was me. That was me saying, I've never seen this side of Jesse.
Yeah, well, I've never seen this side of Jason to come say some shit like that without knowing what the fuck you're talking about. Is that right or wrong? I still don't hear no apology. Is that not enough to apologize about? What are the 9 alerts and the
I'm
20
not going
things
to
that built up?
apologize for the aggressive manner and aggressive tone.
What
that
was
had
it that you were
during-
talking about 2 years building up and assault my character like that?
So that has to do with
Name
speaking
the
to
actual
individuals.
things, the actual things that you're talking about. I'd like to know the actual things that you researched to be able to say like something like that. to
It's
someone.
through conversation of how you've handled other deputies in the past and how it's been going for you.
What was the situation then?
Every situation is an aggressive tone, a demeanor
Yeah, but
that is
kinda like
very
this, right?
antagonistic.
So you're assuming
I'm not
that
assuming
they were
anything.
right in
That's out of
those.
their mouth.
they're writing those, just like this situation and that other deputy, without knowing and assuming all that.
I haven't assumed anything, bro.
You haven't?
I saw
Where's
it.
those alerts
I
that you're talking? What are the
immediately saw
alerts then against me? What are
Well, I
those
just showed
individual
you.
things?
I just showed you.
So
that
all you're
I
doing
could've
is going
showed
by word of mouth from other cops and not even individual situations.
of each individual situation where I've heard that there was something that happened.
But you
I'm
can't
like,
name any of
how'd
them
that
fucking
go?
individual situations or a damn
Because
thing about them.
Because people don't have a photographic memory that says on this date
No,
at this time.
but they have enough of
this
a
is what you
memory
said.
to assault somebody's character and act like 2 years
I
of this
didn't
has been
assault your
building up.
character. I said that your tone and your demeanor and you've been aggression toward cops, that's not your integrity or your character. That's
You know-
the way you treat people.
That has nothing to do with it. You
And you're
treat people
telling me
how
that
they treat you.
because I'm
And
a
if
public
system
servant,
ple-
that
treats
no matter
you
because I'm a
incorrectly-
public servant, that you should be able to say or be or do or however you want to us. And it's simply not true.
Well, you should be objective is what I'm telling you.
I am being objective.
And I don't think those 5 or 6 things you mentioned that a person has to be to talk to you should be present in every damn situation you have.
No, but there will be a certain decorum of respect.
Or what? You don't do your job?
Or, not that we don't do our job.
Yes, it is. You restrict fucking services. You come here and you act like that, and you would deny it in your own head because your ego won't let you say what it really is. You should have already fucking apologized. You're talking about these other guys and these situations they told you word of mouth. You want to act like it's because I'm aggressive. If your fucking freedoms were challenged, if somebody told you some shit like that, how the fuck would you feel about it? I mean, my God, man, that is bullshit. That is bullshit. The way y'all act down here is bullshit. To restrict fucking services is bullshit. Y'all are fucking public servants. It shouldn't hurt anybody's fucking ego. And don't defend things you assume about. Or that is your humanity that is leaving for your job. If you're objective at all, you can tell me what you meant by 2 years of it all building up and all this shit.
2 years that I've been hearing that you had a disdain for law enforcement
Yeah.
through the communications or
And you
lack
don't know
of
who I
effective
am because of that.
communications.
You don't know who I am
I
because
said, I don't know who that is. I've never seen that Jesse.
But you didn't
But I
research
saw
what
it
those
today.
situations were. Were
I
any of
don't-
those cops
I
perfect?
saw it. I'm
Are
seeing
any
it
of
right
those
now,
cops
bro.
perfect that did that?
None of them are.
Have any of them ever had problems with people you thought they was wrong with?
Absolutely. Mine
Well,
did this
goddamn,
morning.
maybe some of them could be wrong now, huh? Is there
That's
a
entirely
possibility? But you can come here and still say that.
But generally, cops aren't going to go and say, well, he's got an aggressive tone and he's being very antagonistic and negative in nature, or What was the word they
Well,
used in
how
the document?
How hostile?
Hostile.
So how often? You know that's incorrect too. Hostile?
What's that?
Hostile? How can I be hostile? I wasn't arrested. What am I being hostile about?
You want me to Google hostility?
Yeah, I know what hostility is.
Okay, that's what you're showing.
Yeah.
Because you don't feel that you should have to respect somebody, and that if you talk to a public servant,
I shouldn't
you
have
should
to
be able
respect
to talk
anybody
to them.
automatically, and you shouldn't either. Then you could be
So
you
respect
could be
is earned.
respecting a lot of jerk offs.
So
then, huh?
respect is earned. But
Yeah.
that being said, you can give somebody the benefit of the doubt.
Well, why would everybody do that all the time? You get fucking schooled all the time, wouldn't you? You wouldn't know up from down if you did that all the
I've
time.
lived my entire life being objective and giving people the
You're not
benefit of the
objective
doubt
now,
until they
buddy.
chose
I
not
just
to.
proved it to you how objective you are, and you won't accept it. There's no objectivity in what you've
The
done.
very moment you went hostile, for lack of a better term, or
Yeah, if I didn't hit those 5
Your
or 6
disdain.
points is right, then I can't ask
your
your deputy a question. Because that was a line of questioning.
that's where it starts. Is a single question is the
I was
beginning of
asking
a line
her
of question.
a question about one.
It had no
certain thing.
bearing on us getting here and getting that document signed.
It had
and
a
filled
lot of
out.
bearing. It
And
did.
then we show up to get it signed, and then you tell us I ain't got time for it right now.
Well, no, I already waited an hour, and I was supposed to go to the bank and cancel my card so this scammer doesn't fucking do anything.
And so now you continued having a 30-minute conversation
Yeah,
because you
because you
feel that
assaulted
your
my
rights.
character, and I thought that was total bullshit. And what you told me was the scariest shit I've ever fucking heard. That for 2 years I built something up with law enforcement, and now you're telling me y'all all see me as hostile and aggravated. So if y'all can restrict
Let me
services
extend it
to me
past
now,
2 years, probably about the time you started going through your divorce with your wife.
and why?
Because of the way you were handled, I suppose, according to you.
No shit. No shit. It lifted the veil for me. And then going to court, see how judges are, seeing how everybody is up there.
Dude, my brother went to prison without
shit.
evidence for 15 years, so I know how that goes.
Okay.
But I will tell you that if you show a disdain for law enforcement and you show disrespect for law enforcement, you're going to get a tainted response from law enforcement.
That's not right though. You shouldn't have your services restricted because of that. What
Nobody's
you're saying
restricted
is
your
y'all are all a
services.
bunch of softies. And if
No,
you don't treat
I
us
came
all
here.
right and our feelings get hurt or our ego's in the way, we will restrict services to you. We will put you in a system and call you
There
aggressive and
have, in
hostile
fact, been a
and
lot
then
of
we
people
will
with
just
egos
wait
in the way.
on the chance to fuck you over. That's exactly what you're doing.
You're making a lot of assumptions and inferences that just
No,
aren't
you
true.
told me about it, and that's what
No.
scared me.
What you're saying about waiting on
Why else
to
would it
jump
be
in.
there? Then, if I'm making an assumption, why else is it there?
To let
You
somebody
told
who's
me about
never,
it like it was a part of all this.
Yeah.
So I don't think I assumed a damn thing. You told me
I
about
told
it.
you that there were 9 alerts and that
Yeah, you
for
told
2
me-
years
you
I
told
felt
me
that
for
your
2 years it's
disdain
built
has
up.
been building.
So
But
I
it's
wasn't
actually longer
assuming
than that.
anything. You told me about it.
No, I'm talking about you're turning it back around. So what I'm talking about is the assumption that somebody's here to jam you up because of anything.
You
Those are
just treated me a
intel
certain way because of it.
No, I treated
This
you a
is an
certain way.
exact situation.
No, I treated you a certain way because your tone and demeanor went straight there, and I
Then
stopped.
why did you tell me about 2 years and all this other stuff? That wasn't because of that?
When you started doing that, and you started your
You're just-
line of
you're just
questioning after
unwilling-
you asked
You're just
me,
unwilling to be totally honest.
Okay.
You're unwilling, dude. You
Well-
told me that and made it a part of it.
So
And you act like,
you can
well,
say whatever you want to say about how I'm going to be as far as my integrity or my honor or whatever the term was you used, but
your objectivity, your humanity.
that was the term,
Your
humanity.
humanity. A lot of
So-
cops, that's what I always wonder about cops is how they don't mind losing that. Because that's the thing that cops lose. And it's a big fucking price to pay. And I'm telling you, when you start doing that and the way you just did that, that's exactly what it is.
That was a response to your attitude, bro.
You can say what you want, but it doesn't restore your humanity. And you
My
also
humanity's
told
not
me,
lost.
you also told
Somebody
me that
telling
there
me
was
my
2
humanity is
years
gone,
of all this other stuff
That
built
talks
up
all
against
over
me.
the place and does that, it doesn't make my perception of my humanity falter at all,
Yeah, but it doesn't make it wrong either.
because I know where it's at.
Well, where's your objectivity then?
So
You should be able to tell me why.
my
you said
response
that.
was subjective to your attitude in the initial conversation over there, bro.
You already told me you were just protecting her from me asking one
I
question.
told you that it was part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
When I noticed
That's
where
not
your line of
objective.
questioning, your
Listen,
line of question had nothing to
Quite
do with
obviously,
that
you should
document.
have let me ask her that question. Quite obviously, so then I have it on.
Quite obviously,
So
you need
then
to
it's
sit down and
recorded.
have some self-reflection.
So do you, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
Regularly.
Is it wrong
Have
for
it with a
anybody to have
counselor,
that?
as a
Are you
matter of
saying
fact.
that's wrong for somebody to have it? Everybody needs that all the time. That's how we build and grow. To act like I'm wrong because you perceive me some way and everybody else does, that ain't right either. Is it?
So
Some of the people that perceive the worst ended up being some of the best people, right? They have
I'll
to walk
agree
through
with
the flames. They have to take
I'll
the
agree with
swords.
that.
That's how it works. But to do all this, when I called in to y'all, the sheriff's department, about a crime that's going on, rather than give a fuck about that, it had to be all this other stuff.
I came here to get that, bro.
Yeah, after all this other stuff. That's what I'm saying, after all this other stuff. And then you bring this other deputy who just hung up on me.
Well,
If I asked her
actually,
one
she
thing-
came here to get that.
And I asked her one thing. So if you wouldn't have come, I could have asked her. So you came
And she
on
could have
purpose.
turned right around and walked that F off. But I came here to hopefully facilitate the correct taking of a report.
Well, what about,
So here's what I'm gonna tell you now. I've given you that case number.
yeah,
When you get this completed, you can either scan it and email it to me, or you can call me, because you have my number, it ain't changed. And you can say, and I'll be back out to work Monday. You can say, hey, that's ready, and it's ready to go in the system.
all right.
And I'll come out and pick that up. And she'll put it in the system.
How do I ask for all this shit?
Oh, what shit?
All these alerts and all this stuff, and what you just told me there, and about these other meetings y'all have, I need those recordings. And we're gonna
So,
see what it's all about.
The meetings we have is not we, us had. I sat in on a meeting in a schoolhouse where they do a risk mitigation. I think it
Is
might
that
be a
recorded?
monthly.
Was your body camera on?
No, because I'm not taking law enforcement action.
Nobody had any.
I don't know what the school board has. I don't know what the school administrators have. I don't know what
Then I
their
have to make
recordings
you a
are.
part of it.
I'm pretty sure that they do have minutes, because anytime that they have meetings,
Yeah.
anybody's supposed to keep meetings of any county minutes
Yeah.
of any county meeting. So it was a guidance counselor, the principal. I think the principal's a dude now.
He's good. The principal now is awesome.
So,
Oh, Mr. Mickey came from Freeport.
okay, I don't
It
know
was a
Mr.
lady
Mickey. That was the
before.
first time. That was,
She's,
what was her name?
She moved to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, Dubai. But anyway, so I don't remember what the date was, but I guess they have, I think it was called a risk mitigation meeting, and I was asked to sit in on it.
And I was one of the risks.
There was like 9 different families that had either had DCF called to the house. When I say risk mitigation, they look into all kind of stuff. I don't remember what the topic of conversation was. I think it was something along the lines of where are we at with this, and it might have been something about a lawsuit. I don't remember.
Well, I told him I was going to fire up a lawsuit.
Maybe that's what it was.
Which I am. You know,
But you're right.
Trust me, I'm gonna have a big one against the sheriff's office and them up there. I mean, I don't think the way they run things. Some of the policies y'all make are generally counter to
Intuitive?
counter to any law.
Mm,
A lot of the policies are. Let me ask you this: whenever all that happened with me and my ex-wife, all she had to do was call and tell them that I violated something without any proof, without anything.
Good.
One of those alerts got put on there.
you
No,
know,
any proof?
they don't just do an alert
Oh,
without
they
coming
do,
out and
buddy.
finding out.
No, they do. They put you on a list and then they come and give you that you're on this list. A
Oh,
notice.
the domestic violence one. So yeah, so we have a policy that says anytime you're a part of a domestic violence, did you ever get charged with domestic violence and found guilty?
No,
Okay.
no, that was all
So
bullshit.
anytime there's a domestic violence, we used to have a domestic violence investigator that specialized in only that. And then the sheriff developed a domestic violence brochure, and they developed a domestic violence list. And they used to come out, the investigators would come out and say, you've been a part of this domestic violence. You are now on the radar. We are now keeping an eye on you as a part of a domestic violence
Yeah.
investigation. Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
they say you're on this list and you're on it forever. What do they do to investigate if you violated anything?
Well, they're supposed to come investigate.
But do they?
Can't speak on it. I've never been that person.
They don't. They just put you on it. They just come and say you're on this, and you say why? I didn't do
Well, I
anything.
think it has
And
to
they say,
do
well,
with.
shit's hearsay, but they should tell you this
Well, no, I think what it was designed to do was if it continues to
to back
occur.
off people.
Well, no,
In
I
case
think if
there is
it
domestic
continues to
violence.
occur, they can keep documenting the multiple times if
Yeah,
it was in fact multiple
But if it's
times.
not occurring and somebody's lying, they can keep documenting somebody lying.
Well,
That's what they was doing.
How many times did they come out?
Twice on that. So they put me on it twice. That's probably some of that
Well,
shit.
they wouldn't have put you on it twice because there's no redundancy.
They gave it to me twice and acted like they did.
Well, the packet you're talking about, or the
No,
document
they
that
just give
says
you one little
one piece of
like,
paper that
little
says
paper,
you're on
piece
a
of paper.
domestic violence list?
Yeah, they show you this and it's gonna do this, this, and this.
Was it the same individual?
Yeah, Mike's right. She kept saying that.
No, man, the same person that came out.
The cop?
Yeah.
No, it was two different cops. It was two different times.
There's supposed to be a domestic violence investigator.
Yeah.
Well, Anyway,
Well, see, that's probably some of that shit.
we did have a domestic violence investigator that was fired because he threatened the life of another deputy.
Nice.
Domestic violence,
Nice.
same dude, it's probably one of those.
I'm just telling you.
So no, nobody's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty slight scale you're giving people to be okay with that, right? You're saying all these things have to be right.
No. I'm saying if that officer perceives that they're being disrespectful and that their efforts to have the conversation are fruitless and that the conversation isn't going the way,
Yeah, but what's the standard there?
it's all subjective to that particular conversation.
Exactly. It's all subjective. So you can
So
say, I don't want to talk to
if
this person,
Jason,
hang up on
if
him.
Jake,
And then
Jason,
they get brought to your house, and the other guy
Well,
says,
if-
well, 2 years of you building up caused you not to
And
be
the
able to
other
talk to this deputy. You know?
those are inferences you're making, they're a little off.
No,
but-
that's what happened. I'm not making
That's a little off.
inferences. It was reality that just happened. It's on your
So
complaint.
when I told you that you were done talking to her or done asking those questions,
I
it's
never
because
talked to her.
you weren't, you talked to her
No, well, I talked, but
and
you
I
shut
stopped
it
it.
off.
I did.
You said I could ask her a question as soon as I asked one.
Until I
You
feel
told her
that
to
that
go in
line
the
of
car.
questions is inappropriate. You're
There was
done going
one
to the car.
question. The question I wanted to ask is inappropriate. What was inappropriate about it?
It wasn't so much the question, but how you asked it.
How fucked is that? How objective is that, my friend? How objective is that?
I
You
will
had
tell
it in
you
your
this.
mind when y'all showed up, you was gonna do that.
No. I
Oh
didn't.
yeah, you did.
I had
And
in
you
my
already had
mind
it in your mind.
that I
Jesse's
wanted
not the
to see
same guy.
this
And
person.
2 years ago,
This person, you're raising your voice.
so you had it in
You're
your mind
hollering.
before you got here.
No, I
Oh,
gave
you
you the
just admitted
opportunity.
that.
No,
You just
Jesse, I
admitted it,
didn't.
buddy.
You're just wanting to be argumentative. and
Why
That's the
would-
way it's been.
You
That's
come out and you say that to me.
after you
say
started
that
talking
me
to her
and
the way you were
act
talking
like
to
I'm
her.
the one that wants to be argumentative.
That's what you were
Like
doing.
it's not based on an actual situation that happened.
That's what you were doing, bro. You may not even realize it. I'm hoping you do. I'm hoping you're doing it on purpose.
Tell me what was so inappropriate about that question then. Just the
So-
way I asked it.
The way you asked that question and the fact that that question has no bearing on us coming here to get this document.
So now it has no bearing on this. See, you just want to have any reason you can put in front of it. To be honest.
I don't need a reason to shut my door and drive away.
You could anytime, buddy. I understand.
Absolutely.
I mean, but
But that
look,
being said, so can any other deputy, and they don't have to be. I'm not going to allow any
yeah.
of my
So you're gonna
deputies
go to where all the other
disrespected.
deputies are, and if anybody says anything you don't like about it, then you're gonna.
No, we're not going to be disrespected, and I'm not going to allow one of my deputies to be
I
subjected.
want to
disrespect.
show that on camera, what I asked her,
Well, I told you how to
and I
get
want
it.
to see how disrespectful that was.
I told you
How
how to get to it.
disrespectful was.
I told you,
You
how to
think it
get
was
to it.
disrespectful the way I asked it?
Partly, and the fact that of what you were actually asking her. Why? Because it's
Oh,
a
now
question.
it's about. See, you want to make it about anything you can think of. You change it every time.
I haven't changed.
That's
anything,
4
bro.
times you just changed it
I
here.
haven't changed anything.
First you said, see, this is what you
Jesse?
wonder why people get aggravated. You act like I'm the one talking in circles. You act like all this
Yeah,
other
you
stuff. And
certainly
I'm
are, bro.
argumentative, but what in the hell, Jason? You just said in the beginning it was my demeanor and how I asked it. And then you said, you changed it. You said, well, it was what you were asking her.
It's all of the above, bro.
Oh, see?
It's a culmination of everything. It's called the totality of the circumstances.
So what was so terrible about that question?
So, last time.
You haven't answered me. The actual
Because
question.
you keep cutting me off, bro, and
No,
talking
you
over
just
me.
don't have a
Just
real
like
answer
that.
for it. No,
You're not accepting it. So it doesn't matter
go
what I
ahead,
say,
go
it's
ahead
not
then.
going to be
Let's
right, bro.
see what it is. Yeah, because it's not right. Maybe it's
Okay.
just not right.
All
What is it
well,
though?
it'll just not be right.
Well,
You
let
got
me
your
ask
number.
you about that question, the actual question, not my demeanor
done
or how
talking
you
about
feel about anybody. Or 2
You
years
can
ago.
add this to your perception of law enforcement responses.
My perception is based on an
Mhm.
actual thing that happened. That doesn't make it my perception; it makes it reality.
I thought you just said perception wasn't reality and that was bullshit. Those
I
were
said
your
it
words.
doesn't make it my perception; it makes it reality. Did you miss that?
You got your, no, I didn't miss anything, bro.
You just did.
So you
And
got your number.
Wait. So I'm just asking you, what
I'm not
was
waiting on
actually
anything
inappropriate
else.
about that actual question? Because there is no actual response. What was wrong? Besides, it doesn't have to deal with this. What was wrong with the question?
So I'm not going to keep talking in
Because
circles anymore.
what's wrong with the question?
I'm going to take off and I'm going to bid you adieu. And
You're not
good
gonna
luck.
tell me what's actually wrong with the question?
Every time I try to answer a question, you start talking
I won't
over
say
me,
a
bro.
damn
You
word.
just did it again.
Nothing. I'm
Every moment.
I'm saying I
I'm
won't
done
say-
with it.
I'm quiet.
Because now I have the same feeling.
You had it
and-
when you got here.
No, I
You
didn't.
just cover it a different way.
No,
Yeah, 2 years of
None
all this building
whatsoever.
up. I wanted to come
I
here and
told
see it
you.
for myself.
absolutely.
That means you had it in your
Because
mind
I've never
before you
seen
got
it.
here.
I've never seen
What
it
was
from
wrong
you.
with the actual question?
Again, I'm not going there again,
Because there wasn't enough.
because you don't want an answer.
Well,
You just
you
want to be
haven't
right.
actually give me one.
So,
Oh, you say
be
it's
right.
about my demeanor.
If you want that turned in,
it wasn't about this.
make sure that number is on that if
All
you
right,
want
look,
that turned
it
in.
wasn't about this, and it's not about my demeanor. The actual question.
I'm already past
What's
that.
wrong with it?
If you want that turned in, if you want that to go into the system, the number on the back of that card needs to be on the top corner of that line.
And
Put your story
you
on
won't
the
tell
front
me what was
side.
actually wrong with that.
I've tried to 5 or 6
Well,
or
you said
7
it's
times.
not about this.
I've tried to 5 or 6 or 7 times, and I'm not doing
Well,
it
you said it
anymore.
was about this.
This is why she hung up.
Dude, it's because you can't answer it correctly. Because there's no correct answer for it. You make up all the other
You don't-
stuff. You want people to
You don't
accept
want
it.
one. No, you don't want one. You just want to be
I didn't ask
argumentative.
her why she hung up on me as a public servant.
You could-
What was wrong with it?
Numerous things.
Okay.
Good luck.
You didn't
man.
want her to have to answer it.